Hi, welcome back to segment two of the Erskine alumni reading with Glenis Redmond. I said I was going to start off with a poem that I had wrote for the commencement of the seniors in 1997. I was the commencement speaker, but I decided I've changed my mind. I want to do a poem for one of my South Carolina heroes, and I hope that you have heard of this man. And if you haven't, that's fine. I want you to go and Google him and do your research. His name is Clayton Bates. His nickname was Pegleg Bates, and he was a one-legged tap dancer. And he was from Fountain Inn. My father was from Fountain Inn. They actually went to Fountain Inn Colored High School. They were the last graduating class in 1957. And this man was their teaching artist. He came by and did motivational speeches for them. And then they dedicated a gymnasium for him at the school. So, story about Clayton Bates. He was 12 years old when he had the choice, not really a big choice, of whether working in the field or the factory. And he chose the factory. You know, factory was hard work, but field was harder. And many people who are listening to this come from lineages who family picked out in the cotton fields. He did not want to do that. So what he decided, he asked his mom, can I work in the factory? And his mother said, who was a great woman of faith, said, baby, let me pray about this. And so she prayed about it and got up and told him he could work in the factory. Well, the third day, he got his pants leg caught in the cotton gin. And they had to find a country doctor, which is hard to do, who would operate on black folks. And he came to his mother's house and did the operation on her kitchen table, sans anesthesia. So this is the poem I wrote for Clayton Bates, who it's called I'm Fly. And I called it I'm Fly because he's always dressed. And from head to toe, just clean, tuxedo to match his peg leg. So this is the poem I wrote for him. Some people got two good feet and still don't know what to do. My smoothness makes the argument for just one. My other leg be long gone, sacrificed to the cotton gin god. They pinned my mango mess down to the kitchen table, made me suffer more under the hand of an unsterilized knife with only a cotton bit to bear the pain. I got up, spit out that terrible taste of Jim Crow and pity, spun my mama's worry and got into a dance that twists past the neighbor's prayers, gossip and stares of, how he gonna make do on just one leg? I strap on my dreams with tucks, tails, and flair. I turn can't into can without losing time, not even in my mind. This Fountain Inn sun done good. I knock beats on wood. I'm a worldwide showstopper, all right. I shout rings around all those other two-footers. I'm the master of my own fate. And when the world cut me at the thigh, I don't shuffle off in misery. I get up on my one good leg and fly. And so I write these poems based on history, personal and collective, but I just want you all to know it doesn't stop just in my family or the Black community because it ripples out to the greater community. He does not just strive, he thrives. And the reason I look to him is because even though he had all these challenges, he rose above. And that is what is inspirational. And no matter what you're battling, whether it's a cancer or asthma or diabetes or a mental illness, no matter what it is, or grief or a loss of a loved one, we can always turn to someone who's inspirational, greater odds than we had, who rose above, and we link arms with them and we rise too. So that's why I write the way I do. So here's the poem that I wrote for the seniors of 1997. I was so pleased. I was living in Black Mountain at the time, and I was so pleased to be asked to be the commencement speaker. And so I'm going to read the poem. It's a shape poem. I don't write a lot of shape poems, maybe one or two per book. This poem is in my book entitled Backbone, my first book. And you can find these books at Amazon. What My Hands Say, which I'm will be reading out of mostly, is at you can find it at Press 53, or you can order it off my website, or you can order it off Amazon. This poem for them is called "They Made Me Think of Trees," and I love it. And I'm so glad that Erskine sent me this lovely frame edition of the poem, because my laptop from them has crashed and I wouldn't have it otherwise. So I'm so glad that they sent it. They Make Me Think of Trees. Erskine Class 1997. Class of 1997. This poem is of trees. Bold, tender, green, wondrously sprouting new leaves. Pointing out and up with purpose. This poem is bearing fruit, ripe, full of joy. This poem is beauty, alive with youth, spreading right before watchful eyes, holding promise, holding promise, holding promise like branches, alive with hope of reaching, with rays of sun. See how light catches the dapple leaves, dances on treetops, careens between each leaf. This poem will be around a while, standing like oak till withered, wise. But for now, this poem is growing into you. It is you. So that was the poem for them. And I want to do another tribute poem. And I had said in the first installation that I was in the psychology department, and Dr. Gorey and Dr. Showalter were two of my professors who were men who are immensely important to me. And Dr. Gorey has passed, and I wanted to share a poem that is a snapshot from a time of what I was going through while I was at Erskine College. And this was called Schooled. Learning takes hold best when placed in the body, when seed takes root and blooms. Branches past the brain, places itself in the heart, where knowing becomes known. I recall the moment in 5th grade when Senora's voice drenched the class with a calming rain, beating a cadence we could feel. Her words sounded like a sweet foreign river to my first week in Italy ears. How her lyrics flowed in and out as she proclaimed our Italian names. Michael became Michele, Angela turned into Angelina, and Charles translated into Carlo. When she came to Glenis, the pause seemed to last forever. How I waited on the word, the ebony reed of myself stranded in her inhalation of wind. Finally, Gladiola. It took me years to understand the grace in the name. An African flower striving in unfamiliar terrain. Like me, at my college alma mater, as the whole campus sing, here amid the same traditions that our fathers knew. My throat closed. I professed to Dr. Gorey how I could not sing the song, because my forefathers did not walk these halls or know these traditions. I remember the language of his eyes align me like both sun and moon, as if to say, carry this lesson deep in the meat of your bones. Your fathers, your forefathers built this land with their blood, sweat, and tears. They watered and prepared this ground upon which you stand. It is their singing that brought you into these halls. Honor them with your being. And this is such a beautiful way. We're being taught inside of the classroom and outside of the classroom. And I never doubted myself anymore after that at Erskine. And I want to end with a very short, another shape poem is called Churn. And I will see you on segment 3. Churn. Mama's house holds history high on a shelf where a Carolina clay pot sits. Though I never churned, I yearned to know how our family got over. made our ways through working the land. The days that flowed like sweet milk and turned golden, soft and easy. Mounds of butter. Then the rough days too, without cream. Sour days, harder to swallow. Coagulated lumps, buttermilk. Into this mahogany vessel, I agitate stories into poems. Make food from both the bitter and the sweet. Thank you for listening. I look forward to seeing you on the last segment. Please feel free to get in contact with me at my website, www.glenisredmond.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.